You are watching Travel World Online.
Namaskar. Welcome to the panel discussion on Indo-Nepal tourism, opportunities and challenges. Eminent panelists are Mr. Subhash Goyal, Honorary Secretary of Fate, Mr. Pradeep Lulla, Acting President TAFI, Mr. Deepak Raj Joshi, former CEO, Nepal Tourism Board, Ms. Ranjana Rana, President, Hotel Association of Nepal, Mr. Tankanidhi Dahal, Commercial Director, Nepal Airlines, and Mr. Achyut Guragai, President, NATA. Friends, Indo-Nepal relations are centuries old. Our ties are from generations. We have always shared happiness and sorrows at times. After COVID-19, when lockdown opens up, Indians will be looking to travel and they'll be looking to neighbor countries. Which better place than Nepal? For Nepalese, for religious purposes, for tourism purposes, for medical needs, they'll be looking towards India. So let's start today's discussion. Mr. Joshi, please tell us, how do you take into Nepal ties? What are the opportunities and challenges you see?
Thank you, Anilji, for connecting us at this difficult time. Uh, India is always a very, very important and very large source market for Nepal. When we talk about in 2019 only, we received nearly 200,000 plus Indian visitors by airlines only, and then roughly around 1.3 million visitors by land to Nepal. Similarly, our most of the packages are also jointly sold through Indian agents, and not only the Indian agents, most of the packages are being sold through Nepal also. So, in tourism, since quite long we are together, we are going together, we are fighting the situation together. So, at this time also, this is the right time we should collaborate more. One thing it is always surprised me in private sector our collaborations are so strong since ages, but in somehow the in government initiatives we lack somewhere. Whenever we talk about the crisis, in every crisis, four segments are the major segments which come back very quickly. I mean, these segments are the very, very resilient segment. And that is, we can talk about like domestic segment, which is very, very resilient and bounce back quickly. Another is niche segment. In niche segment, many products of Nepal and in India, they are very, very strong, like trekking, climbing, such kind of niche segment is very, very strong to recover. And after that, the business segment is also very, very strong segment to recover quickly because there is a kind of compulsion to travel. And third segment is the pilgrimage segment, the spiritual segment. In that segment also, both the countries are very, very strong. So these are the areas we can, not we can, we should work together now when the whole world is in a lockdown situation. Yesterday only I was looking through some data that, nearly 175 countries, they have locked down their boundaries. The people are not allowed to travel from one place to another place. More than 90% of the world population is in the home in a lockdown situation. But this will not go long. We'll bounce back. But when we bounce back, we'll bounce back slowly. First, it might be domestic tourism. Then next, it might be regional tourism. Then short haul tourism. Then long haul tourism. So in this process, how we can work together is very, very important. I think from Nepal side, we have very experienced, my friends, Sirjana Rana, she is the hotelier. She has many properties in hotel, five-star to resorts. And she is president of Hotel Association Nepal, and she is also the vice chairman of Nepal India Chamber of Commerce and Industries. So she will be there. And then my another friend, Mr. Achyut Guragai, he is the president of Nepal Travel and Tour Operators Association, and we have personalities like Goelji, Bharatji, and our friend from Tafi. So I think if we bring out some more thoughts and then collaboration, we will bounce back quickly. So that's the idea. We are connecting today, looking for more collaboration. I would like to, I think, ask Srijanaji to add something more.
Deepakji, before we move on to her, I would like to ask you one thing. Post-COVID, do you see any restriction in the movement from India and Nepal?
Right now, our the land and the air both the entries are
Right.
blocked, but slowly it will ease. I heard that in few days in India also lockdown is being softened or removed. We are hoping that in 10 to 15 days of time it will be softened in Nepal also. So after that, slowly we'll open up. There is no other the option. Slowly we'll open up, and then when we open up, how we collaborate is the key. I think in that line, I would like to update the situation.
Thank you. Mrs. Rana?
Thank you so much for having me here. Basically, I was talking about, the relation between Nepal and India, like how Nepal and India are, we are very lucky to be neighbors, and it is important that we have a bilateral dialogue and communication to be on the same page, which is most important, right? And currently, as we all know, that we are all staying home, but then once the situation improves, then Nepal would be a good destination for Indian tourists to come in, and vice versa. But due to the ease of travel, as we do not need visas to travel between the two countries, again, is a plus point for all of us, So additionally, the air travel and overland travel for tourists between Nepal and India, what I wanted to suggest was that I think the movement should be, very comfortable. It should be very hospitable. And because I always keep hearing that in the borders, the behavior, all that is not there. So I think there has to be a hospitality booth there. And, I think it has to be very systematic and very welcoming, which I really want to emphasize. And secondly, what is unfortunate is our airfare is also very expensive. So maybe we can start working on how to, come up with better airfare. So that would also be a plus point. Then additionally, Nepal and India also share close religious and cultural ties. As we all know, we have the cultural tourism. And I mentioned earlier also, because of Visit Nepal 2020, that we had prepared a lot of products that are all in place. But, unfortunately, things like this happen. So what we could actually do is to have a discussion on the clear product to promote, because I think promotion is also something where we really go wrong. We have to really be clear about what product to market where. Say, for example, we have a champagne breakfast at the base camp of Everest. Now, how many people in India know? But then this kind of marketing has to be done in big cities like Mumbai and Delhi, wherein for the overland tourists, it has to be more of casino and more of religious. So that all we should define, have the clear product, and then also, highlight the issue faced by the various sectors of tourism industry, because we could have a virtual meeting like this. Maybe Nepal India Chamber could host it, or Mr. Sharma, you could again have a second session where we could have all these issues discussed, like overland travel, air travel, hotels. What are the issues that we are facing, and discuss a way forward how to improve the situation, because this is the time that we have, that we can work on all these things, that when things bounce back, that we are more ready, and discuss how COVID-19 has affected the situation and a potential way forward for both the countries.
Mr. Lulla?
Yes.
How do you see the collaboration between the two?
Firstly, thank you, Anil. My name is Pradeep Lulla. I'm the president of TAFE. TAFE is an organization and association which caters to mainly outbound travel agents business and also tours. I just want to give a perspective currently. Currently, I think we are in a situation, as Mr. Joshi also said, where it has been unprecedented, where 90% of the world's population is locked down with 175 countries. But fortunately, in terms of India and Nepal, we have taken corrective actions at the right time, and therefore we have contained, because especially India with such a big population, and if you actually see the amount of people affected, and thanks to our Prime Minister Modi ji, we have taken this corrective action. But now, as far as when we are opening out, what I feel is, firstly, even to open out normal tourism, even in terms of flight, maybe it may start trickling outbound, maybe Nepal or other things, maybe from June or July. Now, currently, I would say we are at zero situation, because with everything being closed, it's near zero. And so how would things take place in future? Especially in TAFE, we are educating people basically to adapt to domestic tourism, and of course the near short haul regions like could be Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, all these places. Now with the projected currently 2020, our outbound tourism was projected to be 50 billion. That's 5 crores. Now naturally this would take substitution, because things don't become zero, but now the new norms would be, people would want things to be in the safety perspective. So whichever country, whether it's Nepal, whether it's Sri Lanka, or even our other states. So I think firstly, I think each country, and even as travel agents, we will have to first convince our people that firstly, it is safe to travel. That is the first part. Secondly, how would be that the destination or the place or the hotel where they're going, how would be that safe? How would the cleanliness be maintained? How this social distancing would be maintained? Now, say in place like Nepal, also, you have places which are in normal courses crowded. You have the Pashupatinath temple or other things. Now, how would things would be done where safety could be introduced? So, I mean, I'm only giving a perspective that these are the norms which I think firstly we have to adhere to. And tourism, of course, even domestic, of course, is the first thing to, domestic and regional is the first thing to take off. That's why we are in TAFE also trying to educate our people. And we would like Nepal also to have a training session to our members for the future, how to introduce. But this is my perspective that we must look at things in a different aspect, and how we should be able to convince and promote that. And then again, going forward, I also feel that now the flights, the frequencies of the flights would be lower. And thereby, according to me, the cost of operation would increase. So how do you do in this time of, I would say, recession? Because when we start, there are a lot of small, medium scale industries and even large industries where their profitability would have gone down to half or maybe lower. And then how do we actually provide a tour package or whatever, which could adapt to the current situation of pricing, safety, and other things put in.
Mr. Joshi, the most
Yes.
important thing is today to win the trust of the traveler. And to win that, he is looking for safety. That's what Mr. Lula mentioned right now. So what steps are going to take to ensure safety, hygiene, and to win the trust of the traveler?
I think you are very right. New normal will be very, very different than what we used to do earlier, because even after lockdown, the restrictions will be discouraged to gather, and then the safety concern will be the major concern for the travelers. That's why in Nepal, the government and private sector, they have come together to make a kind of mechanism. Very soon they are going to make one mechanism to disinfect the airlines, to disinfect the tourist services like hotel accommodation, restaurants, airports, these kind of things. We are going to do that. And after that, with that mechanism, we are going to produce a kind of manual where the visitors will be aware, informed through these channels, a kind of infographic, a manual, a video, where we'll mention about how we are preparing. So that kind of mechanism we are building. And at the same time, one manual will be produced, and then we'll communicate to the visitors about these kind of things. Like as I mentioned, the like the safety measures, hygiene improvements, and massive training also we are going to do it during this lockdown, so that this time we can utilize constructively. These kind of small initiatives we are doing, and I'm sure these kind of initiatives will certainly convince the visitors. Safety is the prime concern, and tourism is the major industry for Nepal, so we can't compromise on these segments.
Thank you. Mrs. Dana, the way we used to travel is going to change drastically.
Right.
The travelers will be more demanding. Are we prepared for that when it comes to hotel industry? And what kind of changes you are expecting?
Very elaborated, this being a hotelier, as you know, that it's a great concern for us to prepare ourselves that when we start inviting tourists to visit Nepal, there are many things that we have to be very careful about. The sector must still follow the rules and regulation imposed by the WHO and your own government. That we have to study and make sure that we are within those rules, right? Now, cleanliness, hygiene, and safety should be our main priority, not luxury and extravagance, because things have changed now. First and foremost, it is crucial to gain consumer confidence that the hotel restaurant is hygienic and safe. This is the confidence that we have to be able to give, visitors. And it's a version, like clean and safe Malaysia. This is what Malaysia has come up with, that the hotel also be declared a safe. The safety. You get that certified. As safety also. And we have to, of course, continue providing the hand sanitizer and at the entrance and other areas regarding high touch. Provide disinfect wipes at key areas such as the elevators, lobbies. These are things that I've been thinking and putting it in paper. Ensure multiple daily cleaning of shared spaces and high touch areas like table, lobby, elevators. All staff should be wearing gloves and masks. Perform temperature checks on guests and visitors at the entrance, which we are doing, but we have to continue doing so. Social distancing dots to ensure correct levels of distancing between the customers, for example, in the waiting line and things like that. Special spacing, of table at least 2 meters apart. That has to be there. Only people coming in as group can share a table, but then, otherwise you can't. Avoid large gathering, that we have to continue. Use single-use toilet bottles and utensils instead of multi-use refillable and reusable products. Hire a specialist to conduct frequent checks on cleanliness and carry out tests, for example, swab tests of surfaces, kitchen and staff, kitchen. That all that has to be done. Conduct training for staff has to be done on food safety, hygiene and cleanliness. And encourage staff to use digital communication over face-to-face communication where possible. This especially holds significance for hotels that have a large number of employees, and then work on new. And after that, of course, with all this comes, a marketing strategy. How are you going to market to build that confidence to your visitors who are going to come in?
Mr. Goragai?
And I have something to tell, very similar with, Sujana Madam, but something also different, which as, the part of travel agent and the travel and tour operator part. I was just listening all the people. I would like to start with the association, my own association, Nepal Association of Tour and Travel Agent, NATA.
Okay.
And we have been working on, especially after this corona virus effect beginning from China. And, after the first market is India, the second is China. And after that, immediately we got the effect from China. And then, I would like to start with the rescue, the things Nepal Tourism Board, our travel trade fraternity, and the tourism ministry did a really great job. And this time, offering the free food, offering the free transport, and bringing to them, bringing to airport for a rescue flight, a charter flight to back home for the tourists. This is the beginning of the COVID-19's effect. Now we have to think about the tourism trend will be changed after math of this COVID-19. There will not be in the beginning, maybe it will take 1 or 2 years to have similar number of big groups, big number of tourists in a group. It won't happen immediately because of the rule and regulation from both countries, India and Nepal. And the second thing is, of course, the passenger, the customer, the tourist, they will be scared to travel in a big group. So now what we have to prepare for, I think, is we have to prepare for honeymooners, individual traveler, high-end travelers who want luxury, and of course the casino player. And now Nepal is very popular for the mountain, and now slowly the Indian young generation, they are also very much interested for adventure travel. For example, bungee jumping, rafting, paragliding, and for this thing we have already planned something, and we are thinking. And
the need of the travelers, are we ready for that post-COVID?
Yeah, for need of the travelers, yes, we are ready, because nearly 5 years ago, when Nepal was hit by earthquake, the situation was very different. At that time, our physical structures were damaged, image was damaged, and then the business was damaged. But right now, the structures are intact, the beauty is intact, the products are intact. Only thing is the travel restriction is there because of the health pandemic. So once this is softened, everything is ready there. Even the industry is more concerned now. The more responsible thoughts are coming up. So it will certainly make it better, I believe so. The industry will make it better. And then every crisis, every kind of these kind of situations brings some new opportunities also. And certainly this pandemic is also going to bring some new opportunities. But only thing is we need to unleash ourselves and make able to reap that benefit, what kind of benefit that is bringing. And then another thing is our industry largely needs a kind of education to cope with the situation, new situation. That's why one very brilliant idea came up a few days back. I think our friends from industry, the leaders of our tourism industry in India, they know better. Like South Africa, they did in 2018 as an African tourism board, bringing whole Africa together as a one destination. In 2018, during WTM, they launched this campaign. And yesterday only, they released one new initiative, bringing more than 30 thought leaders of tourism industry, and in the name of Project Hope.travel. Yesterday only they have launched, and where they are giving a kind of platform or knowledge sharing to promote industry as a more responsible way. So in that line also, I think at least South Asia, we can come together, public and private sector, where if not long haul markets now, for now, at least in the regional movements, we can encourage travel with certain safety measures. That's why I think is the need of the hour.
See, the moment border opens up post-COVID, the first thing will be the road movement. So do you have enough facilities or good roads from India to Kathmandu?
Yes.
The borders and all that.
Yes,
how you are planning to take up the tourists? Because the number will grow by road.
Exactly. Since last year, Nepal government has given one of the top most priority in infrastructure development. Our two new international airports are under construction, one in Lumbini near birthplace of Lord Buddha, and another is in Pokhara, the tourist town of Nepal. And at the same time, in Kathmandu airport also, government has expanded its parking ways. More airlines are going to connect after this pandemic. Not only that, the border entries are also smoothened. And then the road conditions are built better. So that situation is there. And one thing more is initially, every tourist services like hotels, airports, airlines, they will have some kind of the new policies, new mechanisms for checking, for safety measures, for hygiene. So it might feel like that this is something not friendly or something like that, but eventually it will be used to, because in 2011 when terrorist attack hit USA. After that, most of the hotels, when they introduce a kind of metal
Detectors.
checkup in hotels, it used to be very, the kind of scary, dangerous kind of feeling. But eventually, we are used to now, and then in future also we used to be used to. But this is the time we need to introduce a kind of mechanism where we can have some certain type of safety checkups. Safety measurements, monitoring mechanisms. That's what we are going to introduce. I think everywhere it will be a kind of first thing to do.
Thank you very much. Mr. Goyal,
Yeah.
so once lockdown is over, I hope government will open movement in phases. How do you see the picture at that time, and how we can go ahead with, how do you see Indo-Nepal tourism growing?
I think, as rightly mentioned by Mr. Joshi, that let us divide this into two portions. One is what can be between now and the time the lockdown is going to be over. We hope it will be over in May, maybe in June, because the summer season, the summer vacations, June, July are peak outbound months from India. So what should be done is, Mr. Pradeep Lula is here, the president of your travel agents association is there. Firstly, I think you must sign some bilateral agreements now. You see, and we should take a lead from this, meeting, and maybe both the associations can exchange, do a joint, web, conference where all the members of TAFI and all the members of the Nepal Travel Agents Association can come together, because even most of the outbound operators are now thinking of domestic and regional operations, and or Nepal tourism could organize immediately Nepal promotion event, which we in FAITH, which is the federation of all the 10 associations, which are TAI, TAFI, FHRI, HAI, IATO, domestic tour operators, adventure tour operators. So we could circulate to them also. And since Anil, you have taken the lead, I think jointly with Nepal Tourism, you should do some, marketing activities to the general body, to the general membership. See, we all, who have been long time in the industry are aware of what are the unique, potentials of Nepal and how beautiful it is. We know the snow-covered mountains, the pilgrimage, the Buddhist circuit. We are aware of all that. But those people, like I was talking to Pradeep the other day, he said 90% or 99% of our people are in outbound tourism to Europe and Australia and a lot of other countries. And now they want to focus on domestic and regional tourism. So it would be a good idea for Nepal tourism to maybe do one program for members of TAFI where you can show the film. You have some beautiful films on Nepal, and you can also get the hoteliers in Nepal and the travel agents in Nepal and do a web buyer seller meet. I think this is something that can be done, being prepared for tomorrow, because rather than waiting, let us do educate our travel agents who are selling, who were not selling Nepal earlier, to start selling Nepal, and Nepal travel agents who were also selling Europe and Thailand and Malaysia and all these places should start selling India. And I think if we could take one lead out of today's event, then the biggest lead would be that let us do one event to promote Nepal amongst the Indian travel agents and tour operators. That
So
is
what-
one. We can start with TAFI, and then we can go to Thai, we can go to Ayato, we can then do one for adventure tour operators. And if you want, we in Faith can also coordinate it, and Pradeep is there. It's luckily for us. So what do you think, Pradeep, about this?
Subhash ji, very good idea.
You could also make a checklist of the hotel association. These are the hotels which have been sanitized. These are the hotels where with security check, we will also have a health check. Whether you put a thermal scanner, like you put a metal detector at the gate, you see a thermal scanner will be put, or maybe the immigration department puts a thermal scanner that every tourist who's going out or coming in to Nepal goes through a thermal scanner. So something like this will have to be done, and similarly India will also have to do the same thing. Indian hotels would have to do the same thing. So basically we will have to have more bilateral tie-ups during this time. We do joint programs, joint circuits. You see, people who are coming to Nepal, we need to have developed that confidence amongst ourselves rather than we competing with each other. And I am telling this to my Sri Lankan friends also, because I represent Sri Lankan Airlines, that we must have more confidence and trust in each other, and we must try to promote a religious circuit. For example, 75% of the Sri Lankans are Buddhists. So are a lot of people in Thailand are Buddhists. So you have the birthplace of Lord Buddha. We have the place where he got nirvana. And so a Buddhist circuit is one thing that can be promoted within the SAARC region. So I think we'll have to think of out of the box ideas like this. Maybe a joint website can also be developed, right? A South Asia website. And thirdly, I've been talking about this long time back, but I think this is the right time.
Thank you. Mr. Lulla, what's your take on that when you were talking of training TAFI members about Nepal or giving a kind of presentation?
Okay. Firstly, I think Mr. Goyal's elaboration on the whole thing was very good, and I think we must take the cues from there. What I would suggest is, as I said, that we in TAFI are basically looking at promoting domestic and regional. So I think firstly, let's start with Nepal. We can have for our members a webinar where the members would be involved, and some sort of introduction and everything of the country could be done. Going forward, maybe it could be, because I don't think before June anything would even start in terms of movement of people. And see the other thing. See, let us first see that what are the fears of the people. Currently, even domestically, people are scared because if they go and for some reason someone is detected with COVID, they can get quarantined. So coming with these fears, things like, if it could be said that in event of such situations, suppose, you're on a flight and on that flight someone is detected, then where would the people be quarantined and how would people be kept? because that is one fear I can see from a lot of people who I'm talking to. Everyone wants to travel, but they are nervous because even in India, when during this lockout, when there was flights, there was a passenger of mine who came, and there was a aircraft which they detected someone from COVID, and then he was taken to Kasturba Hospital for 14 days. So this is one part. I'm only saying this because this would be the questions asked by our people when it starts.
Welcome, Mr. Dal.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invitation.
As Mr. Lulla mentioned, the security and hygiene measures. So please tell us.
Yeah. Concern with Nepal Airlines that they are operating charter flight these days, these pandemic situations. Some of the charter flight we have conducted recently in this month. We have conducted 8 flights for the charter flight. And what we have following the procedure is the recommended procedures, and which is made by the task force within airport area, and it is led by Civil Aviation Authority, Nepal. So we handle passengers we are ground handler also, not only the operator. So we take care of the passengers from boarding to board them into the aircraft. So we ensure PPE properly, wear, and the sanitizers and other cleaning aspects. We fulfill all hygiene aspects to secure passengers. And before all that, we must ensure that the passengers should not be affected by COVID-19 by checking temperature and all. In the gate.
Mr. Dal, like Mr. Goyal mentioned, in normal time, the prices are very high. So at this situation, how do you see the prices?
No, actually, in normal situation, there will be very competitive situations because from Delhi, from Mumbai, and from Bangalore, we are operating from 3 cities of the India. Basically in Delhi, we are facing tough competition. That's why price is determined by market. What I expect by airlines is they will do they will manage their frequencies first of all, because after clearance of these situations, everybody will doubt to travel, so that they will reduce frequency. And it directly affects us on the price. Even if you wish to receive higher price, you will not get as an airliner. You have to consider very, very low fare, which is maybe less than the cost.
If we do it in a proper way, it could be a benefit ratio for both the source country, say Nepal, and our own members, who would basically be able to substitute and provide that. But yes, we have to look at a proper kind of a pricing, because see, today we have to also understand that with this, a lot of people have lost a lot of money. There's a slowdown in business. So over and above the security aspect, there is also an aspect of what would be the basic cost.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, did you hear the concern of Mr. Lulla and Mr. Goyal?
He's the one holding the industry, Nepalese industry together.
Personalized service, which of course in the hotel industry is always there, and we can start working on discount vouchers. We can start coming up with certain packages. Especially in times like this, provide immunity boosting, wholesome food and drink options. These are the times we really have to look into the kind of food that you serve. It's not the long menu, but maybe, a short menu, but something that is more healthy and hygienic, So those kind of things we can work. Then, keeping these things in mind, like say, for example, the hotel should look into the service such as mobile check-in and digital keys. People are getting more and more conscious. So these are the things that we really need to work on. Hotels should consider having in-house psychologist services to cater to guests and staff when required,
Hello. Yes, the brilliant idea we have got from Mr. Goel and then Mr. Luraji from TAFE. So how we can move ahead is a very clear-cut idea we have got, and then we'll also compile a kind of preparation that we have made, and then we'll start through the webinar very soon, and then we'll be happy to host a special meeting of TAFE in Kathmandu or somewhere in Nepal. So that's we can start, and then for the another idea is for India also. Nepal is a kind of there are a few segments which are very very strong, like for medical purpose, for shopping purpose, for pilgrimage, for leisure. Many Nepalese travelers, they do visit India, and they used to visit other parts of world also. So now we can encourage them more to visit India. Similarly, from India, many visitors, like besides pilgrimage, the youth segment was very much the increasing over the years as a weekend breakers. So these kind of segments we can tap, and for niche segment there is strong demand from India side for soft adventure to hard adventure segment, and in these areas we can certainly work on. And then I think still the large plethora of booking is still routed through the travel agents, the strong travel agents, though there are some new initiatives from online also. So maybe we from the government side or from the industry side, we can think about some incentivizing the players who are linking the tourist and the destinations. So that is also one thing we can do. And then more than the ever before, we have to come up strongly together, because this is the need of the hour, and this will have a very strong foundation for the future, a new foundation, a new layer for our future, which will add certainly the extra value in our initiatives. So many new things are there. At very, the rightly, our TAFE president was sharing us once we have to organize a kind of FAM trip for new players. So not only the new players, the major tour operators in India, so that they can see new Nepal, because most of the travel agents in India, they have a kind of perception that in Nepal there is only Pashupati and Thomel and Pokhara. But in last few years, we have so many new attractions and activities and which need to be exposed more.
See, tourism cannot be negated to zero. It has to, and it will come with a vengeance. You will, I can assure you, if you do this today, next year you may have double tourism from India. So,
that is what
we are in a mood of negativity and despair. But according to me, India has got great potentials, and Nepal being a close point, because so we have to think positively.
Fast.
Let's hope and let's pray for that.
No. I'm very positive. In fact, even I was speaking.
I think it's very good. Very good. Chala, good.
So I hope we have got some good outcome from this. So any closing remarks, Mr. Joshi?
Thank you very much for all your insights that you have shared, all our Indian friends. From my bottom of heart, I would like to extend our sincere thanks and pray from Nepal for the quickest recovery from all these pandemics. And we are eager to working together. We have worked together, and we want to grow together. So in total, coming out of all these kind of pandemics, the only solution is to synergize our efforts, coming together and having more collaborations, and we are there for that.
Thank you very much.